Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. This is take 2 of the review. I recorded my review last night, and it turns out my camera didn't even record a fraction of what I recorded. And I'm so annoyed, but I'm here. Let's talk about Collision. Last night was your last ditch efforts on trying to recruit people to come on by and spend $50 plus tax for the pay-per-view. And if you ask me, I don't know if they did a good job of convincing people to do so. However, I will still be purchasing and I'll be doing a watch along. So if you like, come join us. Now, we started off with Jon Moxley making his way into the building, and he was walking with his legs so far apart like he has the biggest balls in the world. And I'm just like, oh, that's a weird walk. But whatever, it's Jon Moxley. He makes it to the ring. We have Uncle Don who comes and interrupts. He is basically, long story short, because this segment went on a lot longer than I think people would have liked it to, basically saying that he and Jon Moxley are a lot more alike than he actually would like to admit, and that Jon Moxley should join the Don Callis family. And I'm just like, what? And basically saying, leave BCC, come join me. And he was like, do you remember last year when you hit me and I ended up hurting myself and got that long ass scar that he has on his face? And basically, I don't know what, they're blood brothers now? Whatever the situation is, Jon Moxley said, hey, the only way I'm going to join the group is if I could put another scar on your face. And obviously, Uncle Don ain't for it. Now, all this was just a distraction so that Takeshita could come from behind and attack Jon Moxley. He attacks Jon Moxley, and then he takes a chair, put Jon Moxley's arm into the chair while he folds it onto his arm, and then he jumps down from the top rope, crushing Jon Moxley's arms. Obviously, BCC's back there, and they ain't with the foolishness, so they come out and help our boy Mox, while Uncle Don and Takeshita scatter like flies. And honestly, I think they was trying to make up for what happened on Dynamite when they had Takeshita looking like a stupid fool in the middle of the ring after getting hit in the head with a microphone, and Jon Moxley just walked away like it didn't even happen. And to me, I'm just like, okay, y'all trying to retract from what y'all did on Wednesday. Y'all looked like y'all made Takeshita look stupid, and now y'all trying to fix that. And it's like, it's not working. This is an eliminator match on a pay-per-view for a title, which is crazy to me. And I think they tried to clean it up, and it didn't work, in my opinion. So now we have trios action to start off. We had Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and a mystery partner versus Lance Archer and The Righteous. Now, we're waiting, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're going to get somebody who we haven't seen in a long time, somebody who's still employed, collecting checks, but not working. And then here comes Hiroshi Tanahashi. Oh, my God. I was just like, what? Now, I'm disappointed. However, everyone in the audience is marking the fuck out. Everybody loves Tanahashi, which is true. Yes, he's a legend or whatever. However, he just doesn't perform the way he used to. He's always struggling in terms of walking and moving around. However, people still love him. People still want to see him. And long story short, you guys already know the babyface teams always fucking winning. Oh, this is so annoying. They end up winning. Tanahashi takes the win for his team, pinning Vincent. And we had some fun moments here, but once again, the predictability is such a killer. And I am just like, what is going on here? It was hard to enjoy because it just kind of felt like we're just throwing things together, But I'll say this. After this, we do have a campaign-like ad from the Elite. And when I tell you, I can't stand the young fucks, but this was so brilliant. The way they put this together, I was thoroughly impressed. So they have this thing where it's like, almost as if they're running for president, or maybe trying to convince you that you should want the Elite to be the faces of AEW. And they're showing all these wonderful things that Nick and Matthew does for AEW, passing out food at catering, looking like that's the perfect employees, putting the ring together and putting the show together. And I was like, these guys don't do none of this shit, but it looks good for the commercial. Now, then they start showing Team AEW, and these guys, oh my God. It's so funny because it's like, okay, they made them look so bad, even though they're actually not bad. And they did a brilliant job of doing this. And it was so fun watching. And look, if they have this on YouTube, go look it up or whatever. It's so funny. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. Made me chuckle. Now, after this, we had the Lucha Brothers versus the Guns. And this match, not bad. The Lucha Brothers actually brought their little kids with them. And I thought that was cute because they're dressed up in their gear too. Cute, whatever. But predictable. Predictable. And honestly, seeing the Lucha Brothers win this match made me think, what's going to happen at the pay-per-view? Are we going to see the Bullet Club Gold take the win since the babyfaces won on Collision? That's a possibility. They did add this match on Friday. Basically, the Unified Trios titles on the line against the Lucha Brothers. So I can see them take it. And if they do take it, the Bang Bang Gang still have a set of Trios titles, which is the 6-man tag titles from Ring of Honor. In my opinion, the more people who have titles, the better. Whatever. I'm over the whole thing. It's just so annoying that the Bullet Club Gold is walking around with 3 sets of titles. Doesn't make sense to me. So now we have the Learning Tree with the Redwood Big Bill. And they're basically back there with, I can't remember the new girl's name. I'm so sorry. She's so cute, but I don't know her name. Whatever. Chris Jericho, long story short, says he don't give a damn how many people he has to face defending that title. He's going to win. And while he's talking, here comes Brian Keith, who walks in and he said he misses a title shot since he lost that match with Hook and Shibata the other day, which was just absolutely a fucking crime, the way that thing turned out to be a handicap match, but whatever. He said, hey, I lost that opportunity to go against you at the pay-per-view, but this is the last you've seen of me. And I'm just like, oh, okay, show him who's boss. Let him know that, hey, after this whole fiasco is over at the pay-per-view, I'm still coming for that title. Now, after this, oh my God, Kyle O'Reilly in action. And that's what I hate. When it's in action, that means it's a squash. Now, he went against Kevin Matthews, who also goes by KM. You'll probably remember him from a few weeks ago when he had a match with Daniel Garcia. Was it memorable? Well, not really, but he's a big, tall dude. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay, Kyle O'Reilly has been damn near perfect since he returned from his injury with all his matches. And then they gave us some 2-minute bullshit. And I'm just like, Kyle O'Reilly doing a squash? I could not believe that they would waste talent like Kyle O'Reilly to do a squash match. This does nothing for him. I am a firm believer in that squash matches should be something on the rare side. Like, it should not be something that they should be doing maybe once a week or so. Like, you have so many people that's on your roster, and then you guys bring other talent, local talent, to be on the shows as well. Does it have to be a squash every time you bring a local talent? It doesn't do anything for the local talent, and it doesn't do anything for your guy or girl who's on that roster for them to be in the ring for 2 minutes. Kyle O'Reilly does not deserve to be in a match for 2 fucking minutes. Waste of time. So now we have Willow Nightingale. She comes out to the ring. She's so cute. Basically saying shit we've already heard. However, the only thing I can say here is her confidence. She looks so much more confident than ever before, and I really enjoyed that. She was able to get in that ring and speak and not have to trip over her words and not have to sound like she's not sure she's going to retain the title or not. She sounded 100% confident, and that's what you want to hear with a champion. I'm sorry, Willow, I don't see you holding that title after the night, but you looked absolutely amazing here. Sometimes I hate when they do this thing where it's just like they had an exchange with each other on Rampage, and it seemed like, all right, this is it before the pay-per-view. But then they bring it back up by having Willow come on the mic and keep talking. And it's just like, well, Mercedes kind of looked strong last night. And what, now y'all figuring maybe we shouldn't have done that? So let's bring Willow Nightingale to Collision and make her look stronger with this promo before the show. And it's just like, oh my God, it's just like y'all just keep trying to one-up each other. It's weird. It's really weird. in my opinion, this I do consider to also be a go-home show. I know it's not Dynamite, but this is still a show before the pay-per-view. People are still watching AEW to see, maybe they might convince me on Collision because it ain't convinced me on Dynamite. And then here, we just see pretty much the same things that we've been seeing already. And really, Willow absolutely looked amazing, and she looked real strong during her promo. But we've already seen this shit already. We've already heard all this stuff. Now we have Trent Beretta backstage doing his interview while he's talking about how he's going to whoop Orange Cassidy's ass. Here is Rocky Romero, and he's like, oh, you know what? After this whole little fiasco tomorrow, if y'all, taking out your frustrations on each other, let's go back to being best friends like how we used to be. And Trent Beretta looks at him, he's sizing him up and everything, looking at him up and down, and he's like, no, and don't ever interrupt me again. And I was just like, oh, okay. I like this little attitude that we're getting with Trent Beretta. Trent, I love you. I've loved you for so long, but this ain't it. Like, you're not tapping into the full heel energy all the way through. And I just wish that he would have. Now, tonight at the pay-per-view, there's a little bit of chance for him to fix that up. We'll see if he gets to tap into that energy all the way. If not, the storyline, I don't know if it's going to keep working out for me. Now, what I thought was an 8-man tag match turned out to be like a 4 corners tag match where it's just 4 teams going against each other for really no reason. House of Black versus The Acclaim versus Gates of Agony versus the Infantry. Now, the match, not bad until you start realizing what's going on here? Like, there's some distraction that's going on here. What ends up happening here is Billy Gunn and Brian Cage, who are not in the match, they're ringside for their teams. They end up getting into a little scuffle ringside. And then Gates of Agony and The Acclaim, they went on over to figure out what's going on and stop this whole fiasco. But then they end up fighting each other and making their way to the back and leaving House of Black and Infantry in the ring. And I'm just like, uh-oh. We've seen our, what's their name? House of Black and the Infantry before during the tag tournament, and that match was not good. Not good at all. And then I'm just like, maybe they're going to get a little bit of redemption. You guys know the Infantry are actual veterans. And I'm thinking, oh, a little Memorial Day, little celebration. Thank you for your services and all that stuff. And no, they get their ass handed to them by the House of Black and end up losing. And I'm just like, nothing says thank you for your service more than coming back out on TV and getting your ass whooped for the millionth time again. Not even on Memorial Day can we do a little something for the Infantry and give them a little win. I couldn't believe it. And this is one of those situations where it's just like, the company, Tony Khan, they're a little tone deaf to these things where people can say, all right, maybe they don't support veterans like that. And there's issues with discrimination. There's issues with, all types of different walks of life where you kind of just think like, it's Memorial Day. Why not? Or like, it's Black History Month. Why not let a Black wrestler win this month? Like something where it's just so weird to me where I'll just like, wow, you let them get their ass decimated by House of Black, which is crazy. All this to set up a pre-show match, you guys, The Acclaim versus Gates of Agony. And I'm just like, well, I don't really care for that. And whether if I care for it or not, they didn't have to sacrifice the Infantry like that on Memorial Day weekend. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit too much into it, but I know that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Now, after this, Adam Copeland gave us a bomb-ass promo right when House of Black was leaving to go to the back. And he just looks like he's like, it's like black and white, but his face is red, but it's not painted. I don't know how to describe it, but the imagery is just so beautiful. Adam Copeland, I don't care what anybody say. I don't care if y'all saying that he's wrestling in front of 3 people or whatever. He has absolutely been a joy to see in AEW. He has come on by and made himself comfortable, made himself feel like just as home. And I absolutely enjoy everything that he does here. He's basically saying that, if he would have lost, then he'll end up joining the House of Black. But he said, what if I wanted to join you guys all along? And then he's just talking about how he looks over at his shoulder and he sees this devil on one side, but he looks over to the other side and there's no angel. So basically he got this devil talking to him and getting into his head, and you can kind of see it. Man, it was a really great promo. Adam Copeland, I feel like he's definitely here to help the young talent and also here to really truly bring entertainment to pro wrestling. It doesn't matter where he go. I think he's doing an amazing job. After this, Mariah May and Layla Hirsch. I actually like both of these girls. But Mariah was half the match is her posing for the camera, posing for the fans and whatever. And I get that I guess that's part of her thing, but it's like, it's not working. It really wasn't working. It took a lot away from the match. The one time these girls have a little bit of time to be on TV, and I felt like a little bit, it was a waste. It really was. Mariah ends up winning, and I wish the match was more entertaining. I know how great of a wrestler both these girls are, and with this whole thing of Mariah being the sidekick of Toni Storm, I don't think anybody has gotten a chance to truly know who Mariah May is, because she's so stuck behind being actually Toni Storm. Even her gear was Toni's gear, and it said Toni's name and all these things, and it's just like, girl, I get it. At some point, we're going to get Mariah versus Toni Storm, which I'm looking forward to. However, in the meantime, we're not getting a chance to truly know Mariah May while we have Toni Storm, who's been shining throughout this whole character change. And I don't know, I'm bored, absolutely bored with Mariah. Now, after this, we got a promo backstage from Serena D, blah, 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 you're boring. And then we had 2 video packages, one from Swerve, where he looks absolutely amazing. And we have another one from my stepdaddy, Christian, who is at Nick Swain's garage turned wrestling gym or whatever it is, where he got his ass whooped by AR Fox and Swerve a few months ago. They're there all together as a whole family, and Christian just looked like he's running things, head of the household in this promo. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, the presentations of the promos tonight were actually worth watching. The matches are, they're not all that, but the promos and everything makes you feel good. When you watch all the promos leading into the pay-per-view, those actually kind of hype you up for those matches. But the shows itself, not really. Now, to make things worse, main event, we had Jay Lethal and them versus FTR and Bryan Danielson. What more could you want? Team AEW is obviously going to win. And once again, this whole show is predictable. Like, I really wish Tony Khan could just remove himself from the situation and just watch as a viewer for like a month and see what the fuck we're talking about. You sit there, you see the whole card, and you say, that win, that person win, that person win, that person win. And you're right about everything. That takes the fun out of it all. Satnam Singh, stop getting in the ring. You need somebody to train you, like the Big Show. Somebody your size should be training you on how to move in the ring. I am a firm believer in these what you would call giant wrestlers should be trained with other giant wrestlers, because they know how it is that they should be able to navigate this ring. And something is just missing with Satnam, which is everything. Everything is missing with Satnam Singh. Now, Team AEW ends up taking the win here. However, what really got me was after this, they give Cash Wheeler the microphone. I'm just like, as long as y'all don't give it to Dax, we cool. They're talking about how much they love AEW and why they're Team AEW and how they're going to end up winning this match regardless of what happens, and how, they're willing to do all these things for AEW, and they're listing all these reasons why they love it. And I'm sitting here and I'm agreeing with them, and I'm just like, yes, I love AEW too. And then he's like, well, we're willing to die for AEW. And I'm just like, oh, baby, I don't know if I'm willing to do that, but y'all go on ahead and do what it is that y'all got to do in order to win this match. If that means death, then that's what it means. And it's just so funny watching this whole thing. And I'm just like, these guys are so fucking into it, where it's just like the second he said they're willing to die, everybody was just like, oh, well, I don't know about that. Now, Darby Allin, close to death with everything that's gone on with him, and he's still going to make it to this match. He was not here tonight, but we did have the other members of that team. And honestly, am I looking forward to that match? Not really. I kind of don't care. It's going to end up being the same things like we see all the time. This is guys getting together and doing what guys do, which is just stupid shit, but they're having fun at the same time. It's not really a match to me when I see things like this. I don't necessarily consider this to be wrestling, but we'll see. It could be entertaining. We'll see what they do with that. I am looking forward to the pay-per-view. Mostly the matches that I'm looking forward to, Ospreay and Roderick, our stepdaddy and Swerve, and then the cage match with Adam Copeland and Malachi is going to be just beautiful. I already know. I dream about shit like this. I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be going live with a watch along for Double or Nothing. Come join me. Have a great time. See you then. Bye.